Okay, this lesson is a review of polynomials. We're going to begin by working with adding polynomials. Okay, when we're adding polynomials, it's very simple to remember a few things. Usually, we're given problems that are within parentheses. So, for example, it might say add or solve, and we have to pay attention to the symbols that we have. So let's begin with, how about parentheses, 3x squared minus x minus 8, close parentheses. This right here tells us we're going to be adding, okay? And our other set of parentheses, which is x squared negative 4x plus 1. Now here we have to pay attention to a couple of things. There are a few different ways of showing this, but I will show you probably the easiest way of figuring these out. So the easiest way to figure it out is to stack it, which means I take my problem and I'm going to move it underneath my other problem. In doing this, I need to make sure that these, okay, match up. All right, and I'll show you what that means. So first I wrote out my problem, and this is equal to, now I'm going to drop the parentheses, 3x squared, I'm going to give myself a little bit more room, minus x, and in fact, you know what? Let's do all these since they're different terms with different colored pens. Minus x, and then our constant, which is minus 8. Okay, and we're going to say that that is plus. Now, this right here says x squared. And even though that x squared does not have a number in front, it means that there's a 1. So 3x's squared and another x squared is the way we're going to see it. So do x squared. Now, if it makes you feel better to be a little bit more organized and put the 1 in, you can, but know that that means 1x. Okay? Next, our other like term, this is negative x and this is negative 4x. These two terms are different from each other because of that squared. So underneath negative x, I'm going to write down negative 4x. And finally, our last constant is plus 1. And here where it comes all together. I'm going to fill in these lines to show me how to write out all of these answers in a nice, clean format. Now it's a little bit easier to read, don't you think? If I have to look at my problem, I could easily tell that if I have negative 8 and I'm adding 1 to it, it now becomes negative 7. Okay? Now I look at my next problem. Negative x, which means negative 1, plus 4x is going to equal negative 5x. Okay? Negative 5x. So this is the same thing as if I was saying I have negative 1 and I'm adding 4 more negatives. It gives me 5 negatives total. And finally, in this last column, like I told you earlier, you have 3x squared plus 1x squared equals 4x squared. And that would be your answer. And if it helps to write it out over here just so you can see it a little bit more clearly, your answer would be 4x squared minus 5x minus 7. Let's try one more problem with adding polynomials. Okay, and we're going to use the stacking method because I feel that it helps keep you organized and it helps keep your steps in line with what you need to do. Okay, So let's try the following problem. We'll use the same method. Okay. How about I have, I'll change it up just a little bit too. How about I have 5x plus 9, close parentheses, plus, which is going to tell me which operation to do, 2x minus 3y minus 5. Okay, now something here looks a little off. This is where the stacking method is going to come in and help us out. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite the problem underneath. So this is equal to, I could begin with this problem. 5x plus, oh, sorry about that. I want to keep it all exact the same. So I'm going to say plus 9. And my next term, I'll do it in green, is something that has, if I look over here, this would be where I line up my matching terms. So probably with the y, because see here I have my x, here I have my constant, here I have an x, here I have a constant, but I don't have a y term in this problem. So I'm going to do 0, y, okay, 0, y, or I could just do, just leave it blank, okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and solve this. I'm going to put this term underneath the matching term, which is right here. So here, write down 2x. Remember, I am adding. Now I'm going to look at my constant. This is my constant, and this is my constant. So positive 5 plus, positive 9 plus negative 5 equals negative 5. And then finally, I don't have a y here or green here. That's where I told you I could just leave that blank if I choose. I have my negative 3y. So here I put down negative 3y. Now, these numbers are being added. So this gets very nice, very clean, very simple. I put in my lines, and now I could add them. Nothing plus negative 3y means that it's negative 3y. Positive 9 and negative 5 equals positive 4. And finally, I have 5x plus 2x is 7x. And that is the answer to adding my polynomial. So if I want to write that over neater, it is 7x plus 4 minus 3y. And of course, because this has 1, 2, 3 terms, it is a trinomial. Okay, here we added a binomial, which is 2 terms, to a trinomial, which is 3 terms. Okay, now I would like to have you switch to a different video to review subtracting polynomials. So if you're looking to subtract polynomials, I want you to look this over and then go to the other video so that you can compare the differences. Thank you very much. This was adding polynomials.